What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. So today we are going to do another Battle World book, or a Warzone book. Battle World, or Warzone, was a way for Marvel to do tie-ins to the Secret Wars event they had back in 2015. Because remember, when Doctor Doom became God Doom, he was able to make a new Earth, except he called this new Earth Battle World. Now with this new Earth, what he did was he was able to make Battle World off the fragments of different universes from the multiverse. Now on top of that, it was also a way for Marvel to kind of redo some of the famous storylines about their characters they have done over the years. For example, Civil War was redone. So was Age of Apocalypse. A lot of stories were done all over again as a way for Marvel to make more money. Now, all of the books were like that, but this one is about House of M. So with this book, it was Marvel taking a new idea with the name House of M, which was a huge event that really helped Marvel get back some of their fans after the struggles they had in the 90s. It was really the first big event in the 2000s and was really done well with the main series and the tie-ins. Also, it is the book where Scarlet Witch got upset. She warps reality and changes the world where mutants are no longer second class and Magneto is the ruler over a particular area in the world. With this one, it is retelling House of M, but a kingdom of Battle World, where House of M plays out differently and another war starts off in the middle of it. And so in the opening pages of this book, you do have Magneto kind of tell us and show us this world, this kingdom that he owns on Battle World, where of course in this kingdom, in this domain, mutants were the second class. Humans were the first class. But over the years, Magneto has tried so many times to make sure that mutants become first class and humans become second class. But of course, it took a lot of years, a lot of struggles, but he was able to actually achieve that where mutants are now first class. Now, with that being said, of course, just like in the original House of M, Magneto is the one in charge because in the original House of M, the Scarlet Witch made sure to put her father in charge. And so in this kingdom on Battle World, once again, he is in charge of this area because it is the House of M reality in this kingdom. And so that means he has to be the one in charge. But of course, mutants are now first class, humans are second class. But of course, there's still some struggles between the two sides. But that is the moment we actually do pick up with the human resistance. Now, the human resistance is going to be very important for this storyline. And the reason why, because when it comes to mutants being first class and the humans now being second class, of course now you have humans trying to fight back against the mutants as a way to have fair rights. On top of that, Magneto had made a new law where right now humans are being captured or killed off. And so you have the humans right now trying to fight back against Magneto to have fair rights. Now, with this resistance, you do have a bunch of heroes we have seen over the years in Marvel Comics, but only 3 of those characters are actually very important. And those characters are Hawkeye, Misty Knight, and Black Cat, which honestly, Hawkeye made a whole lot of sense to me, but Misty Knight and Black Cat, that right there were kind of surprises for me. But either way, these 3 characters are going to be very important. And the reason why, because while you have this meeting going on and Luke Cage is the one actually kind of leading this meeting, saying that they need to fight back against Magneto, that is the moment you have Wolverine and his group of mutants that work for S.H.I.E.L.D. right now attacking this base to hopefully capture the last few members of the human resistance. And so of course you do get this full out battle between both sides, but as the battle goes on, you do have some characters being able to get away. And of course the 3 characters that do get away are Hawkeye, Misty Knight, and Black Cat. The rest of the group is captured or killed off. And with that being said, this right here really begins our storyline right now. But then we jump back over to the castle that belongs to Magneto to kind of explore what is his family like in this new reality on Battleworld. And so with that, we actually do pick up with his children. Now at this point in Marvel Comics, when it came to House of M, Magneto did have 3 kids: Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Polaris. Now, over the years in Marvel Comics, they changed things and said, no, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, they're no longer his children, only Polaris is. But with that being said, though, in this reality, we're still playing with the idea that he does have all 3 characters as his children. Now, of course, you do have Polaris kind of saying that she feels like her brother, Quicksilver, is up to something. She has no idea what, but she has this feeling that he is up to something. Now, with Quicksilver, he is kind of up to something, and we're going to see that down the road in this storyline. Now, Scarlet Witch is actually pretty interesting because in the original House of M, the reason why the House of M actually happened is because she got upset with the idea that she lost her children, because she did bring 2 kids to life by bringing souls out of hell, and when those souls, those kids, were lost, and when she remembered, she got upset, warped reality to bring those kids back to life. Now, those kids actually did come back later on in the main Marvel universe known as Wiccan and Speed. But in this kingdom, in this Battleworld universe, in the House of M kingdom, she does have those kids, Wiccan and Speed, and they're also mutants. The only difference is, though, with them being the grandchildren of Magneto, you would think that they'll think like their grandfather, that mutants come first. But his grandkids, Wiccan and Speed, they're not like that. Instead, they're going around trying to free humans because they believe that humans and mutants should be able to live together in unity. And so, of course, they're going around causing problems for their grandfather's image. And when their mother, the Scarlet Witch, finds out, she gets very upset and goes to find them. But getting back over to Hawkeye, Black Cat, and Misty Knight, you do have them right now running away from Sentinels that work for S.H.I.E.L.D. in Wolverine's team because, again, with these 3 characters, they are humans, and with the new law that Magneto has made, humans must be captured or killed off if they do try to fight back. Now with that, you do have our heroes trying their best to find different places to hide, but of course these Sentinels are able to find them and of course make their day very difficult. But that is the moment they do get saved by a very interesting character, and that character is actually known as Death Locket. Yes, Death Locket. She is the daughter of Death Lock, an older Marvel character, but she is half machine, half human. And of course, she was able to save Hawkeye, Black Cat, and Misty Knight and take them to a hidden base that she had built to protect her. But getting back over to the castle of Magneto, we do see Polaris come to her father and telling her father that she is actually worried about Quicksilver because she believes that Quicksilver could possibly be up to something. Now, with that being said, you do have Magneto kind of tell us that even in this kingdom, in this universe, him and Quicksilver, they do not have a good father and son relationship. And so with that, you have Magneto say, yeah, it's Quicksilver. He's always up to something to kind of hurt me or get rid of me. But honestly, I'm not that worried. Now, Polaris tells Magneto that he should be worried because right now Quicksilver is trying to get a peace treaty done between Magneto's kingdom and Atlantis, which of course is being run by Namor. And Namor right now does not like Magneto, and Magneto doesn't like Namor. But they're trying to have a peace treaty, and Quicksilver is trying to actually complete that deal. But here's the thing though, Polaris feels like Quicksilver is actually up to something when it comes to that peace treaty. And here's the thing though, Polaris is right that Magneto should be worried because Quicksilver is not trying to make this peace treaty actually happen. Instead, Quicksilver is trying to start another war where Namor could eliminate Magneto and where Quicksilver could become the next person in charge of Magneto's kingdom. And so we do see Quicksilver go to Atlantis because, again, Polaris and Magneto think that Quicksilver is going to Atlantis to finalize this peace treaty. But in reality, no. It's him coming to Namor saying everything should be perfectly planned out for us to take over my father's kingdom. And so that second war is coming very soon. Atlantis versus the mutant race. Magneto versus Namor. But jumping into the second chapter of the storyline, we actually do pick up with Magneto playing a game of chess right now. Now, with that being said, though, with this game of chess happening, we have no idea who's Magneto is playing against. Now, you would think it would be Charles Xavier, but it's not. And on top of that, the way the speech bubble looks like, you would also think it could be an idea of the Shadow King or some kind of creature. But again, it is not. It's not the Shadow King, it's somebody else. But either way, Magneto apparently has his opponent locked down in his castle somewhere. But then we jump back over to our human characters, which is Hawkeye, Black Cat, and Misty Knight, who's right now with Death Locket, the daughter of Deathlock. Now, of course, you do have Death Locket tell our heroes that when it comes to her father was basically taken in by the new law that Magneto made because he was a human. And so, of course, right now, he is locked up and she is trying to find a way to save her father. Now, when it comes to our other characters, they're also trying to find a way to remove Magneto. And so you have both sides coming together to actually complete this goal. Now, with that being said, though, that's the moment you do have Death Locket tell our heroes that she was able to make some kind of device that will basically remove Magneto's powers temporarily. And of course, this device, it does fit perfectly on an arrow. Of course, an arrow that Hawkeye could possibly use. And so their goal is to use this device as a way to shut down the powers of Magneto, as a way to remove him from his throne. But then we pick up with the grandchildren of Magneto, Speed and Wiccan. Now, with these two characters right now, remember, they're going around causing problems for their grandfather's image and really their entire family because they believe as mutants, humans and mutants can live together in unity. And so right now you have Speed and Wiccan trying to actually achieve that goal as a way to bring humans and mutants together. And so they're causing a lot of problems for their kingdom and for their grandfather. Now you do have S.H.I.E.L.D. step in as a way to capture the grandchildren of Magneto, but that is the moment you do have the Scarlet Witch step in. Now, with the Scarlet Witch stepping in, it is really more of her saying, my kids, Magneto's grandchildren, they are off limits to be arrested. Yes, what they are doing is breaking laws, which of course meaning that they're helping the humans out. But at the same time, they are protected by my father and me, the princess of the kingdom. And so right now, S.H.I.E.L.D. really has no choice but to step down. On top of that, when it comes to the Scarlet Witch, she can do a lot of things. And of course, one of those things is to erase you from this entire kingdom, meaning that you will no longer exist. And so, of course, with her being so powerful, the S.H.I.E.L.D. does not do anything at all when it comes to arresting Speed or Wiccan. But then we jump into the war section of the storyline, where we actually do pick up with Namor and Quicksilver getting ready to attack the kingdom of Magneto. Now, of course, this is not only one war that's about to happen, because Magneto is about to fight against two forces that he did not expect to fight at this moment. Because while you have Namor and Quicksilver getting ready to attack the kingdom of Magneto, you also have the human resistance beginning the process of actually attacking the kingdom as well. Matter of fact, they do attack. Now, there was something I forgot to mention. It was that when it came to Deathlocket, her father, Deathlock, he was able to make an army of Deathlock, half men, half android clones of him to use as an army. Now, these half men, half machines, they're dead. They're just being used by robot parts. But of course, it is a way for them to use these guys as an army to help them have a chance against Magneto. Now, with that being said, while that army of Deathlocks are being used right now, you have Hawkeye, Black Cat, Misty Knight right now sneaking into the castle of Magneto because they want to make sure they're able to get a surprise attack on him to use the device that Deathlocket made as a way to shut down his powers and to hopefully win this war. Now, of course, when they do get into the main room where Magneto is actually at, you do have our heroes begin the process of actually attacking Magneto. Now, remember, Magneto is a very powerful character. He's not a character who usually gets so beat easily. And most times it takes a lot to bring him down, which means that this section right here, it does go on for a good period of time because it's Magneto reminding us that when it comes to him fighting against somebody, he doesn't go down so easily. Now, with all that being said though, you do have Hawkeye actually use the device that Deathlocket gave him as a way to shut down the powers of Magneto. But here comes the big problem though. Because with Magneto powers no longer being around, the person we saw at the very beginning of this chapter, the person he was playing chess against, Magneto had that person locked down in chains and that person was unable to actually get free. And so with Magneto powers gone, that creature is now able to get free. And that is the moment we come to find out the character that Magneto had locked up is Fin Fang Foom. And that right there, I did not expect at all. I had no idea why, but honestly, I did not see that coming at all. But of course, Fin Fang Foom, the dragon, was the thing that Magneto had locked up in his castle somewhere and the creature that he was playing chess against. But with Magneto's powers gone, Fin Fang Foom is free and he's able to actually attack our heroes and attack Magneto. Now, you do have Polaris come in and actually save Magneto and try to get him out of the room. At the same time, the rest of our heroes are trying to fight against Fin Fang Foom. But that is the moment the entire room actually gets flooded. And the reason why the room gets flooded is because that is the moment Namor and Quicksilver had decided to attack the kingdom of Magneto. And that is why I said earlier, when it comes to Magneto, Magneto is actually going to fight against two different sides at once as a way to keep his kingdom. And now he must fight against Namor and his own son Quicksilver. And so when we jump into the third chapter of this storyline, we actually do pick up with Namor flooding the entire castle, and Magneto is shocked and surprised by this. Even though Magneto knows that when it comes to Namor, they were basically rivals, but at the same time, he was not expecting to fight against two different forces at once. And so, of course, right now, he's having a hard time because you have to remember Magneto just lost his powers thanks to Hawkeye shooting an arrow that basically had a device made by Deathlocket. Now, you do have Polaris use her powers to make a hole in the castle to let the water out, which of course, as soon as that happened, you have Magneto still wanting to kill off the humans. But then you have Polaris stop her father, and the reason why, because she realized they need to leave. Right now, they do not stand a chance against Namor and his army. And on top of that, right now, the humans could possibly help Magneto survive, but also get his castle back. And so right now, our heroes have to leave for the time being. Now you do have Namor and Quicksilver enter inside the castle to begin the process of looking around, and the soldiers are trying to find the dead body of Magneto. The problem is though, he is not dead, and so of course, without a dead body, that means they're unable to actually confirm the death of Magneto, which means that he could possibly come back and cause problems for Namor and Quicksilver down the road. Now, you do have Quicksilver tell Namor that there's no need to worry, and the reason why, because to Quicksilver, he believes that his father is horrible at hiding, meaning that sooner or later, Quicksilver should be able to find his father and get rid of his father very easily. Now you do have S.H.I.E.L.D. appear, because remember, S.H.I.E.L.D. is being run by mutants and S.H.I.E.L.D. works for Magneto. But with that being said, you do have S.H.I.E.L.D. come here because, well, the castle was just attacked, the home of Magneto. It just makes sense that they would come by to make sure that everything is okay. To only see Quicksilver come out in a hurry to tell everyone that his father is dead. And with his father no longer being around, Quicksilver is now the one in charge. And so, of course, now it's Quicksilver calling himself king of this kingdom. And so, of course, now you have S.H.I.E.L.D. really not kind of second guessing Quicksilver. They're more like, okay, if he says his dad is no longer around and he's the one in charge, we have to believe him. Just take his words and move on with our day. But getting back over to Magneto, Polaris, Hawkeye, Black Cat, and Misty Knight, the humans, which is Misty Knight, Hawkeye, and Black Cat, they're still knocked out after being saved by Polaris when the castle got flooded. But of course, you had all characters go to some random alleyway. And that is the moment Magneto gets word that right now there are claims that he is dead. And Quicksilver is now the one in charge of this kingdom, which of course now tells Magneto that Quicksilver has been plotting to take over his castle by working with Namor. And so right now it's Magneto and Polaris hoping that somehow in some way they can get Magneto's powers back and actually go stop Quicksilver, because what he's doing right now is really messed up. Now, you do have our human heroes wake up and realize that Magneto is still depowered. And with them being depowered, right now, they do take a couple of shots at him, hoping to get away, because right now they're badly injured and they're unable to actually fight against Polaris. But let's not forget about the Scarlet Witch, because right now she just heard that her father was killed. Her father is dead, and Quicksilver is the one in charge. Now, when it comes to the Scarlet Witch, she's kind of like her sister Polaris. She knows that her brother is actually up to something. And so you do have the Scarlet Witch just scream in anger, demanding for Quicksilver to come here and actually talk to her. Now, you do have S.H.I.E.L.D. try to step in and actually try to calm her down, because they realize if she continues to get upset, she could possibly cause a lot of damage in the city. But of course, that was a bad idea either way, because Scarlet Witch could literally just wipe them out so easily with the flick of her wrist. But either way though, you do have Quicksilver actually appear. And when he does, you do have Quicksilver kind of talk to his sister in a way of saying like, listen, our father was a horrible king. He was a horrible person. He did not do a great job being a king. But with me in charge and you by my side, you and I, the dynamic duo, there's a possibility that everything is going to be okay in our hands. We can make a better world. And you actually have the Scarlet Witch agree to help her brother out. And that is huge. But she does tell her brother, if you do anything that's kind of weird, strange, or could possibly hurt me or my kids, I will basically kill you. Now, picking back up with Hawkeye, Black Cat, and Misty Knight, they do go to a particular area, one of the many hideouts for humans in the kingdom, as a way to hide from Magneto and Polaris. And of course, they do believe that they have gotten away from those two characters, but to only find out that Polaris and Magneto were right behind them, and you have Polaris use her powers as a way to capture them. Now, here comes the next big problem though, because right right now it does seem like Polaris is about to kind of do something to Hawkeye, Black Cat, and Misty Knight, but that is the moment you have a huge explosion happen. Now, this huge explosion actually came from Death Locket, and you're wondering why she attacked both Magneto and Polaris, but also Hawkeye, Misty Knight, and Black Cat. And the reason why she says because plans have changed. She's going to need all of their help if she's going to be able to save this kingdom. But then you have Magneto wake up. But when he does wake up, he comes to find out he was the last one to wake up after that big explosion by Death Locket, because he realized all the heroes are surrounding him. And that is the moment you have Death Locket kind of tell us why plans have changed. Because remember, originally her goal was to get rid of Magneto, but now her goal is to get rid of Quicksilver, because Quicksilver is apparently a worse king than Magneto, more strict, and of course they want to get rid of him. And so right now you have our heroes kind of asking Magneto to help them out to get rid of his son, to actually put Magneto back on the throne, which is something huge to do. But of course, Magneto is down, but he's kind of like, we need an army if we're going to actually complete this goal. And that is the moment you have Black Cat say, I got an idea. We are going to free all the humans that have powers that you had locked up. Because if we do that right there, they can help us and we could actually put you back on the throne. Now, when we get into the 4th chapter of this book, we actually do pick up basically right now with Magneto, the human resistance, working together to attack the castle that now belongs to Quicksilver, his son. Now, of course, you do have Wiccan and Speed actually join Magneto's side in this war. And the reason why, because you have to remember, when it comes to Wiccan and Speed, these were two characters who were really trying to help out the humans more than the mutants. And so right now you have the two teenagers, the two grandsons of Magneto, actually helping their grandfather take back his castle. Now you also have S.H.I.E.L.D. actually join in as well, because S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of is on the same page with Magneto that Quicksilver needs to be removed from the throne room. And so right now you have an entire army just attacking the castle that used to belong to Magneto. But this leads into a very interesting battle between Magneto and his son. Now, once you have Magneto actually confront his son Quicksilver in the throne room, this is where things get very interesting. And the reason why I say that, because Quicksilver had no idea at first that Magneto had lost his powers. And when it comes to Magneto, he is an Omega level mutant, meaning that he's very powerful. And Quicksilver knows that his father could easily defeat him. But the problem is, though, once again, Quicksilver does not know that Magneto had lost his powers. And so when he learns that Magneto had lost his powers, well, for Quicksilver, that means Magneto is easy pickings. And so he begins the process of actually attacking his father. But that is the moment you have Polaris walk in to protect her father, but to hopefully stop her evil brother, Quicksilver. Now, luckily for Quicksilver, Namor does save him. Like, Namor comes right in the nick of time to save Quicksilver from the death or possibly being hurt really bad from Polaris. But here's the thing. You would think that Namor and Quicksilver are actually on the same side. They're not. Because when it comes to Namor, yes, Namor did help Quicksilver take over the kingdom of Magneto. But when it comes to Namor, the only reason why he did that was to put Quicksilver there to just be the face of the kingdom. But the actual control of the kingdom would belong to Namor. And so it was Namor wanting to control things behind the scenes. But Namor is getting tired of Quicksilver, because to Namor, Quicksilver is just a big baby. And so with that, you now have Namor also trying to kill Quicksilver. But then you have Magneto say, no, stop it. If you want to kill somebody, kill me. And you have Namor like, oh, bet. I'll go ahead and kill you right now. Now, you do have Namor also realize that Magneto has been depowered. And so with Magneto no longer having his powers, Magneto is easy picking for Namor, especially Namor, because Namor is a very, very strong character. And so right now, it's Namor just beating down on Magneto. Now, the story does get wrapped up very quickly, and what I mean by that is you do have Speed and Wiccan appear, and when they do, you do have Speed and Wiccan try to help their grandfather defeat Namor. Now, of course, Namor is able to hold his own against them, but that is the moment you have Wiccan being able to use his magic abilities to basically give Magneto his powers back. And so Magneto is back at full strength. And with them being back at full strength, you have Magneto just kill off Namor just like that. Bam, gone, and Magneto is back in charge of this kingdom. And really, the book ends on that note. Not really. I mean, you do have Magneto saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to be a better king for both mutants and humans. I believe that mutants and humans can live together under one big, huge, happy family ordeal. But of course, it's Magneto realizing that maybe he was wrong, that maybe mutants and humans can live together in unity. Now, when it comes to Quicksilver, Magneto actually lets him live because, again, Quicksilver is the son of Magneto. Now, you do have Polaris being able to get a punch in, whatever, but still, it's Quicksilver being kind of left alive only because Magneto is his father. But honestly, this is where the story ends. So with that being said, I do hope you enjoyed today's comic book video. And if you do, please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.